So Devil May Cry 5 came out earlier this year and has been getting a lot of positive attention. I didn't really pay much attention though, because I never played any of the Devil May Cry games before. Well, I fixed that now by playing through the original Devil May Cry. Released in 2001, Devil May Cry is a hack and slash game that's pretty fun, but it does show its age a bit. In Devil May Cry, you take control of Dante, the son of a legendary warrior called Sparda. He's a demon hunter who has to stop an evil demon lord thing. And that's pretty much it. There is a little more to the story, but not much, and it's clearly not the focus of the game. The focus is on the combat. Dante can use a variety of swords and guns, and uses them to battle the various enemies he comes across throughout the game. And the combat is really fun. It's satisfying, it requires a fair amount of skill, and while it can get a touch repetitive, it never gets boring. If all you care about is fun gameplay, Devil May Cry certainly delivers. The problem is that everything else about the game is just okay. Outside of the combat, the only real gameplay is the occasional platforming and navigating the sometimes confusingly laid out maps. Apart from that, there's not much else. There are a few first-person underwater sections, but they feel out of place. When it comes to the environment design, the game does look quite nice, and the locations are different and interesting even if the graphics are a bit dated. The only problem is that the game reuses a lot of the same maps over and over again. Not to an obscene degree, but often enough that it feels like an artificial way of drawing out the runtime. And that's not the only thing the game reuses. Almost all of the enemies, including bosses, end up being reused over and over again too. While the monster designs are cool, and there is a decent variety, you will be fighting a lot of the same enemies over and over again. The combat is fun enough that this isn't a deal breaker, but it is a little distracting. And when it comes to what story there is, it's just not very good. After the initial setup, the story doesn't progress much at all for a while, and when it suddenly tries to give Dante more depth to his character, it comes out of nowhere and really doesn't work. I remember actually bursting out laughing several times when the game tried to be more serious and have actual character moments because they were so clumsily handled. And without wishing to spoil, Dante and this female character Trish both do things towards the end of the game that make no rational sense. In Dante's case, it's apparently because Trish looks like his mother, but that seems like a pretty flimsy excuse. If anything, someone resembling a loved one and then doing bad things should make you even angrier.
Roy, what's up?
Stupid human! He won't tell his friend!
The main plot making no sense seems to be a thing with Capcom, though it is more noticeable here, so Devil May Cry is definitely not a game you play for the story. Finally, the game is rather short, and can be beaten in just a few hours. The combat is fun enough that you might want to play it again, and there are more things to unlock on repeat playthroughs, but even so the game still feels a bit underwhelming. While I can see why people liked Devil May Cry back in the day, and I can say that it is still fun, it's nothing that spectacular. The only thing about it that is really good is the combat, and everything else is just okay. Not bad, but not really that good either. So if you like hack and slash games, it's worth a look. But this is definitely not a game that you need to go out of your way to play before you die. My final score is a 6 out of 10. I liked it, but didn't love it. It's not bad, it's just okay. So what do you think? Have you played Devil May Cry? Whatever you think, be sure to let me know in the comments below. If you like what I do, feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.